You've probably heard it before. First impressions matter. And when it comes to your home, the very first thing people notice isn't the door or the roof, it's the landscaping. The shrubs around your house frame the space, guide the eye, and set the entire mood before anyone even steps inside. But here's the issue. Many front yards end up looking flat or uninspired simply because plants are placed randomly, without thinking about contrast, layering, or overall composition. That's exactly what we're going to fix. In this video, I'll walk you through 10 stunning shrub combinations that can instantly elevate your home's curb appeal, whether your style is modern, cozy, or classic. These combinations aren't just visually appealing, they're carefully balanced for texture, structure, and year-round beauty. So grab a notebook, because by the end, you'll have a clear plan for creating a front yard that looks professionally designed. Let's get started. 1. Boxwood plus hydrangea, timeless structure and soft beauty. If your goal is a front yard that feels polished and elegant, this pairing delivers exactly that. Boxwood and hydrangea work together like a perfect contrast. Structured and soft, simple yet sophisticated. Imagine a row of boxwoods forming a clean green border, each shaped into rounded mounds or crisp geometric forms. Behind them, hydrangeas rise up with large cloud-like blooms, white, pale pink, or soft green, that catch the light beautifully, especially in the evening. Boxwoods act as the backbone of the design. As evergreen shrubs, they keep their shape and color all year long, even in winter when everything else fades. They provide structure and stability, almost like the architectural frame of your garden. You can shape them into spheres, hedges, or formal lines, giving your space a clean and intentional look. Hydrangeas, in contrast, bring movement and softness. Their large blooms add volume and a romantic feel, balancing the formality of the boxwoods. Varieties like Annabelle, Limelight, or Little Lime are ideal. They're bold but still manageable for front yard spaces. For example, Annabelle produces large, pure white blooms that seem to glow in low light, while Limelight starts with green tones and gradually shifts to creamy white, extending its visual interest well into fall. To achieve the best effect, plant boxwoods in the front, spaced about 45 to 60 centimeters, 18 to 24 inches, apart, creating a defined edge along pathways or the house foundation. Behind them, place hydrangeas about 90 to 120 centimeters, 3 to 4 feet, apart to give them room to grow and allow for proper airflow. This layered design adds depth and dimension, just like a professionally planned landscape. Hydrangeas prefer partial sun and rich, moist soil, while boxwoods thrive in well-drained soil with several hours of sunlight. Adding mulch helps retain moisture and keeps the planting balanced. During winter, when hydrangeas lose their leaves, the boxwoods continue to provide structure and greenery. Then in summer, the hydrangeas return in full bloom, transforming the space again. For an extra touch, consider adding subtle uplighting at the base of the plants. In the evening, it creates a warm, elegant glow that enhances the entire design. This combination isn't just about plants. It's about creating an atmosphere. It gives your home a refined, timeless look that feels thoughtfully designed. 2. Lavender plus roses, a romantic, fragrant garden. Now let's move from structured elegance to something more emotional and atmospheric. Lavender and roses create a garden that feels calm, inviting, and full of life. The first thing you notice is the scent. The soothing aroma of lavender blends with the rich fragrance of roses, creating a sensory experience that feels like summer mornings or quiet evenings outdoors. Then comes the color, soft pinks, purples, and silvery greens working together in perfect harmony. The result is that classic cottage-style garden look that never goes out of style. But this pairing isn't just about beauty, it's also highly practical. Lavender acts as a natural protector for roses. It helps repel common pests like aphids and whiteflies, reducing the need for chemical treatments and keeping your garden healthier overall. Both plants also share similar growing requirements. They thrive in full sun and well-drained soil, which makes them easy to grow together. For the best layout, start with low-growing lavender varieties like English lavender or Munstead. These form neat, compact borders. Then plant roses slightly behind them, about 30 to 45 centimeters, 12 to 18 inches away. so the rose blooms rise above the lavender. This creates a layered effect that feels natural yet intentional. When choosing roses, you have many options. For continuous blooms with minimal care, varieties like knockout or drift roses work well. If you prefer a more traditional look, English or tea roses offer larger blooms and deeper fragrance. Picture walking along a path lined with lavender, brushing against it as you pass, releasing its calming scent, while roses bloom just behind it in the sunlight. It feels like stepping into a storybook. Care is straightforward. Both plants need well-drained soil and dislike excess moisture. Water deeply but allow the soil to dry slightly between watering. After the first bloom, lightly trim lavender to encourage a second flush of flowers. For roses, remove spent blooms regularly to promote continued flowering. For an added design element, use light-colored gravel or stone mulch around the plants. It reflects heat, benefits lavender, and adds a Mediterranean feel to the space. You can also include companion plants like catmint or salvia to extend blooming time and attract pollinators. This pairing offers more than just visual appeal. It creates an emotional experience. It brings calm, beauty, and life right to your front yard, turning it into a space you actually want to spend time in. 3. Japanese maple plus azalea, a layered explosion of color. If you want your front yard to truly stand out and capture attention, this combination delivers a powerful visual impact. It feels almost like a natural display of fireworks, calm and refined in one moment, then vibrant and full of color the next. Picture soft morning light passing through the delicate, lace-like leaves of a Japanese maple. Each leaf glows in tones of deep red, bronze, or golden hues, shifting subtly as the light changes. Beneath it, azaleas erupt into bloom, spreading waves of pink, purple, coral, and white that look like paint brushed across the landscape. Together, they form a layered composition that feels both peaceful and dramatic at the same time. The Japanese maple brings elegance and structure. Its gently arching branches create height and movement, while its finely textured foliage captures light beautifully throughout the day. Varieties such as Bloodgood, Emperor of Fur, or Tamukayama are especially popular because they offer rich color while staying compact enough for front yard designs. Azaleas play the supporting role below, forming a dense base of glossy leaves and vibrant spring flowers. The contrast between the maple's light, airy canopy and the azalea's full, colorful mass creates a striking visual balance. It blends the calm, minimalist feel of a Japanese-style garden with the lively energy of spring blooms. One of the biggest advantages of this pairing is that both plants thrive under similar conditions. They prefer partial shade with gentle morning sunlight and protection from harsh afternoon heat. Slightly acidic, well-drained soil works best for both. Adding organic matter or pine bark mulch helps maintain the right soil conditions while retaining moisture. For planting, position the Japanese maple as the upper focal point, either on a slight elevation or toward the back, while placing azaleas beneath or slightly in front. This layered approach creates depth and gives the entire space a professionally designed look. As the seasons change, the display evolves. In spring, azaleas take center stage with their colorful blooms. During summer, their foliage keeps the garden lush and full. Then in autumn, the Japanese maple becomes the star, turning brilliant shades of red, orange, and gold. Even in winter, the sculptural shape of its branches adds quiet beauty. Maintenance is simple but important. Lightly prune the maple after leaf drop to maintain its graceful form. Trim azaleas right after they finish flowering. Waiting too long can remove next year's buds. Refresh mulch annually to maintain soil quality and control weeds. To enhance the look even further, add ferns or hostas around the base for a soft, woodland effect. You can also place subtle lighting beneath the maple. At night, it creates dramatic shadows that move gently across the azaleas. This combination brings together structure, color, and emotion. It's not just landscaping. It's a living composition that feels both dynamic and harmonious. 4. Spirea plus barberry, bold color with minimal effort. Now let's move from calm elegance to something more energetic and eye-catching. This combination is perfect if you want strong color, low maintenance, and consistent visual interest throughout the year. Spirea and barberry work together as a perfect contrast. One soft and flowing, the other bold and structured. And the best part? They require very little effort to maintain. Spirea forms rounded, compact shrubs that bloom with clusters of small flowers in spring and summer. Depending on the variety, you'll see shades of white, pink, or bright magenta. These blooms attract pollinators and bring a lively, fresh feel to the garden. As the season progresses, the foliage shifts into warm tones of orange, red, or gold, extending its appeal into autumn. Somewhat barberry adds a completely different kind of impact. Instead of relying on flowers, it stands out through its foliage. Varieties like Crimson Pygmy, Royal Burgundy, or Golden Rocket offer rich reds, deep purples, and bright golden tones that stay vivid all season long. Even in the heat of summer, their color remains intense and striking. Together, they create a strong visual contrast. The soft, airy appearance of Spirea pairs beautifully with the sharp, defined structure of Barberry. This combination keeps your landscape interesting without requiring constant pruning or care. Both plants are extremely resilient. They thrive in full sun, tolerate heat and drought well, and adapt to a wide range of soil conditions, even less than ideal ones. This makes them an excellent choice for low-maintenance gardens or challenging environments. For layout, use Barberry as your structural anchor. Plant it along pathways or as repeating accents near the foundation of your home. Then place Spirea between them to soften the overall look. The darker tones of Barberry highlight the lighter blooms of Spirea, while in autumn, both plants shift into warm, glowing colors. To enhance the visual effect, choose mulch that complements their colors. Dark mulch deepens the richness of Barberry's foliage, while natural bark tones highlight the warmth of Spirea. Maintenance is minimal. Spirea benefits from a quick trim after flowering to encourage new growth, while Barberry only needs occasional shaping once a year. Both are resistant to most pests and adapt well to urban environments. This pairing works across many design styles, from modern to traditional to naturalistic. For a clean, unstructured look, keep plants neatly trimmed and evenly spaced. For a more relaxed feel, allow them to grow more freely and blend into surrounding elements. A helpful design tip: combine them with neutral hardscape materials like stone, brick, or gravel. This allows their colors to stand out even more. In the morning light, Spirea appears soft and glowing, while in the evening, Barberry takes on a deep, almost fiery tone. If you're looking for a combination that delivers strong color with very little effort, this is it. Spirea and Barberry prove that a beautiful front yard doesn't have to be complicated. It just needs the right pairing. 5. Ornamental grasses plus dwarf evergreens, movement balanced with form. If you're drawn to clean, modern landscapes that stay attractive in every season, this combination is one of the most effective you can use. It's a perfect balance between motion and stability, where natural softness meets structured design. Imagine tall, airy grasses gently swaying with every breeze, their soft plumes catching the sunlight and glowing in warm golden tones. Right beside them, compact evergreen shrubs hold their shape, steady, defined, and consistently green, even through winter. The result feels polished, almost architectural, yet still alive and natural. Start with ornamental grasses such as blue fescue, fountain grass, or Japanese forest grass. These plants bring fluidity into the garden. Their fine textures, soft forms, and constant movement create a dynamic effect that changes with light and wind. To balance that softness, introduce dwarf evergreens like dwarf Alberta spruce, boxwood, or globe arborvitae. These plants provide structure and permanence. While grasses shift and move, evergreens anchor the space, giving it a sense of order and intention. To design this pairing effectively, plant the evergreens at regular intervals to create rhythm and symmetry. Then fill the spaces between them with ornamental grasses. The evergreens act as visual anchors, strong and grounded, while the grasses add flow, movement, and contrast. The real beauty of this combination becomes clear when the wind picks up. The grasses sway gracefully, their textures constantly shifting, while the evergreens remain calm and steady. It creates a visual dialogue: soft versus strong, natural versus structured. Another major advantage is how easy it is to maintain. Ornamental grasses only need to be cut back once a year, usually in late winter or early spring before new growth begins. Evergreens require minimal care as well, just occasional light trimming to maintain their shape. If you want to elevate the design even further, consider adding subtle lighting. Soft uplights placed beneath the grasses and directed toward the evergreens create beautiful shadows and highlights at night. The textures become more dramatic, and your garden continues to feel alive even after sunset. This combination works well in many settings, along pathways, near entrances, or framing driveways. It provides movement during the growing season, structure through winter, and a consistently refined look all year long. It's a simple idea, but when done right, it transforms your space into something that feels intentional, elegant, and effortlessly maintained. 6. Rhododendron plus ferns. A natural woodland escape. If your front yard is shaded for much of the day, that's not a limitation. It's an opportunity to create something truly unique. Instead of fighting the shade, you can use it to build a calm, forest-like retreat. And few combinations capture that feeling better than rhododendrons paired with ferns. Together, they create a space that feels cool, layered, and quietly beautiful, almost like stepping into a woodland garden. Rhododendrons provide the main structure. Their large, glossy evergreen leaves give the garden a full, rich appearance throughout the year. In spring, they produce large clusters of flowers in shades of pink, white, red, or lavender, bringing bright color into even the darkest corners. Even after blooming ends, their foliage continues to define the space, keeping it lush and visually strong. At ground level, ferns soften everything. Their delicate, feather-like fronds spread outward, filling gaps and adding movement beneath the larger leaves of the rhododendrons. This contrast between bold and fine textures creates a layered, natural look that feels effortless and calming. Varieties like Japanese painted fern, lady fern, or autumn fern offer subtle differences in color and texture, adding depth without overwhelming the design. And importantly, they thrive in the same conditions: cool, shaded environments with slightly acidic, well-drained soil. To keep both plants healthy and enhance the natural feel, apply a layer of pine needles or bark mulch. This helps retain moisture, maintains soil acidity, and creates that soft forest floor appearance. When arranging the plants, position rhododendrons toward the back or slightly to the side to act as a backdrop. Then plant ferns in front or around their base, creating a gentle transition from tall structure to soft ground cover. The result is a seamless, layered composition that feels organic rather than planned. There's something especially peaceful about this combination. Morning light filtering through leaves, dew resting on fern fronds, and the occasional movement of birds or insects. It creates a quiet, immersive atmosphere. And this pairing excels exactly where many others struggle. Shaded entrances, north-facing yards, areas beneath trees. These become ideal locations rather than problem spots. Maintenance is minimal. Rhododendrons need only occasional pruning after flowering, and ferns require very little care beyond seasonal cleanup. Once established, they largely take care of themselves. If you want to enhance the effect, you can add natural elements like stones, a small pathway, or even a bench. These details turn the space into more than just a garden. It becomes a place to slow down and enjoy. This isn't just planting for appearance, it's creating an environment. A shaded, peaceful retreat that evolves gently with the seasons and offers beauty without effort. 7. Holly plus camellia. Evergreen strength with winter bloom. When winter arrives and most gardens fade into dull shades of gray, yours doesn't have to lose its appeal. This is where holly and camellia truly stand out, a pairing that brings structure, color, and elegance exactly when it's needed most. Holly forms the foundation. Its deep green, glossy leaves remain vibrant all year long, giving your garden a strong, consistent presence. And when winter comes, those bright red berries appear, like natural decorations that instantly draw the eye. Holly provides structure, symmetry, and a sense of permanence that keeps your landscape looking intentional in every season. Then comes camellia, the unexpected highlight. While most plants go dormant, camellias begin their show. Large, rose-like flowers appear in shades of pink, red, and white, often starting in late autumn and continuing through winter into early spring. Stepping outside on a cold morning and seeing those soft blooms against a quiet landscape creates a striking and almost surreal effect. From a design perspective, let holly act as the structural backdrop. Plant it behind or beside camellias to create depth and a strong evergreen base. Then position camellias slightly forward, out where their blooms can take center stage. This layering creates contrast. Solid green structure paired with soft seasonal color. Both plants thrive in similar conditions, making them easy to grow together. They prefer partial sun, well-drained soil, and slightly acidic conditions. A layer of mulch helps retain moisture and regulate soil temperature, supporting healthy growth. What makes this combination especially valuable is its year-round interest. In summer, you have rich green foliage. In fall, buds begin forming. In winter, camellias bloom while holly displays its berries. And in spring, everything refreshes and continues the cycle. Planted near an entryway or along a pathway, this pairing becomes something you experience up close. Light reflecting off glossy leaves, petals falling softly to the ground. And color present even in the coldest months. It's refined, seasonal, and reliable. A garden that never feels empty no matter the time of year. 8. Viburnum plus Nandina. Layered beauty through every season. Now let's move to something more subtle, natural, and constantly evolving. A combination that offers interest in every season without ever feeling over-designed. Viburnum and Nandina work together to create a landscape that feels alive and balanced all year long. Viburnum is one of the most adaptable shrubs you can grow. In spring, it produces clusters of soft, often fragrant white flowers that attract pollinators like bees and butterflies. As the season progresses, those blooms transform into colorful berries, red, blue, or black depending on the variety, providing food for birds. Then in autumn, the foliage shifts into warm tones of bronze, burgundy, and gold, adding depth and richness before winter arrives. It's a plant that continuously changes, offering something new in every phase of the year. Nandina complements this perfectly. Often called heavenly bamboo due to its upright, airy form, it brings a completely different texture into the design. Its foliage transitions through the seasons, fresh green in spring, deeper tones in summer, and vibrant reds or oranges as temperatures drop. Many varieties also produce bright berries that remain through winter, adding subtle color when most plants are bare. Together, these two create a layered and dynamic composition. Viburnum provides fullness and structure, while Nandina introduces vertical movement and changing color. The contrast between the two makes the entire planting feel more refined and thoughtfully arranged. Another advantage is how low maintenance they are. Once established, both plants tolerate drought well, require minimal pruning, and adapt easily to different conditions. This makes them ideal for homeowners who want a beautiful landscape without constant upkeep. The color range is one of their strongest features. From soft spring whites and fresh greens to deep autumn reds and winter tones. This combination ensures your garden always feels active and visually interesting. For the best layout, plant viburnum toward the back or center of your planting area, creating a strong base. Place Nandina closer to the front, where its lighter, more delicate structure can catch the light and add movement. They work especially well along walkways, near entrances, or as part of foundation plantings. Adding subtle lighting can enhance their effect even more, highlighting textures and colors in the evening, almost like illuminated glass. This pairing is all about quiet sophistication. It doesn't overwhelm, but it constantly evolves, offering something new with each passing season. If you want a front yard that feels balanced, natural, and effortlessly refined, Viburnum and Nandina create exactly that kind of space.